Hey YouTube, this is Reborn here, and I'm here to review Heroes Episode 3. Um, yeah. So, this episode, basically sees, more exploration of the ideas about, the hunting of, the Evos. And there's a bit more revealed about the behind the scenes stuff that basically led towards the Evos being hunted. Um, a lot of it's just implied, it's not outrightly said, so a lot of the statements I'm about to make are just ideas going on in my head. One of the things I first wanted to address is this. A lot of people have been saying they don't like the Katana Girl. Now, whilst I can see why people are saying that, I think Katana Girl has one of the more unusual powers, and the CGI that is being used for her power isn't spectacular. I felt if they had used real video game mechanics, they may have made Katana Girl a bit more interesting. I also think the fact that she's there's just something about her which, you know, I think a lot of people can mistake the character for a cosplayer, that there's no real, dimension to that character. But one of the things I think people are forgetting is that this show, out of all of the other superhero genre shows, this show is the most diverse in its casting. Ever since Hero Season 1, this show has made a point of showing diversity in their characters. And I think whilst, yes, this character might seem a bit annoying, I think the fact that they are even showing a Chinese character at all needs to be addressed. And it needs to be basically said that actually this character could potentially be very, very interesting. And she suffers from what most of the characters seem to suffer from. And that is, there isn't enough of their own personalities. A lot of these characters seem to be a reflection of the old ones. And I don't think there is enough new here to really give us a showcasing about what makes these characters special from the old ones. The ones that we saw in Hero Season 1 through 4. Because characters like Peter Petrelli, Claire, Nathan, Sylar, all of those characters, and Hero, all of those characters had dimensions. They had really interesting characters. And this new generation of heroes don't seem to have that. But I think we have to give this show a chance. It has 10 more episodes to prove that Heroes is still a viable show. So far, I don't feel like it has managed to live up to that. And but it has 10 more episodes to really prove that this show can be that show. Be the show that we saw in Heroes Season 1 and, to a degree, Season 2. So now that I've got that out of the way, let's dive headfirst into this episode. So the show is really showcasing the idea of the Evos being hunted down. And I really, really liked the idea of this new company basically building a Cerebro. It's heavily some of the device called, I forget the name. I want to say it's Evo. I'll call it Evo. I'm not sure if that's the name, but Evo anyway. No, sorry. Evo is the heroes. There's basically this device. Let's just call it Cerebro because that's essentially what it is. Essentially, these devices can track any Evos in the area. And this tracking system, this Cerebro, is basically uses the power of Molly Walker. And Molly Walker basically allows for the tracking of these Evos. This is essentially what Molly Walker's character was originally for. Originally, the whole point of Molly Walker was that she was supposed to be a tracker for the original company, and now finally it's being realized in this version of the show. And I found that really, really interesting. And first off, I find the actress is beautiful. But seeing a grown-up version of one of the original heroes was really interesting. And I think the fact that we are seeing what Molly's original story from Season 1 finally realized in Heroes Reborn is really, really interesting. And the whole idea of Cerebro, of this Cerebro technology, is really interesting. But a lot of it feels like X-Men to me. A lot of those ideas do feel a bit like X-Men. However, I really, really dig the idea. I think the idea is really, really interesting, and I do look forward to seeing where that bit takes off. The Carlos story, I don't really fully understand that story. I don't really have very much of an opinion there. The boy who's like Peter Petrelli and Claire, and the actor who plays Peter Pan from Once Upon a Time, actually, his character is one of my favourites so far. I just find this character really, really likeable, and he so reminds me of Peter Petrelli. I actually wouldn't mind it if he actually did turn out to be Peter Petrelli's son. But yeah, basically, a lot of what this episode is there is a lot of stuff that is revealed to have gone on behind the scenes of June 13th. And I think it might have been this rival company basically going against the original heroes. And I believe that Claire's death, we get a mention of Hiro Nakamura being kidnapped by the Yamamoto agency. I think all of these aspects are interconnected. And I think the one person that connects everyone is Noah Bennett. And I think that is key to unraveling the mysteries of what connected Heroes Reborn to the original series. And as soon as we find out more about Noah, and we will find out a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. I still reckon that Katana Girl's father is Hiro. We also get a mention that there was an accident that caused maybe Hiro or whoever Katana Girl's father to be taken away, which is why I do generally believe that Hiro might be the primary father of Katana Girl. If not, then it's Ando. One of the two is Katana Girl's father. And I think, again, there's just so much behind the scenes that we're not seeing. So yeah, I do find that this episode was intriguing, but we didn't see, but again, a lot of what I just said is speculation. There is nothing, and my primary problem at the moment, which is reason why I can't actually say this episode was particularly very great, is the fact that too much is happening all at once. And I don't think there is enough of sort of the development of the story. We're basically dunked halfway through a season. And in a universe that we haven't explored since the original series. We have this whole time jump of about 8 years, give or take. But we don't know what happened in any of it. And the show isn't really giving us very much to go off. And again, I've speculated the hell out of episode 3 and the previous 2 because that's all I think we as fans have. Because we only have the original series to go off, because this series isn't explaining why things are happening. And I know the show has just started off, but the problem is this show has 13 episodes to prove that it can be a viable show. And I'm really afraid that the show will not prove itself. And unfortunately, yet another Hero season will go by and add to what already is a very convoluted and confusing show. So I definitely think next episode and beyond, we need to see what is happening to this world, this universe. There's also an implication that something cosmic might be happening. And again, all of this stuff needs to be explained either in episode 4 or episode 5. We need to know why these things are happening. I also didn't mention the couple who are hunting down Evos. Essentially, it turns out that the guy might be an Evo himself. All in all, that's all I want to talk about. Again, I'm sorry that this episode was basically a speculation video. It's just, again, there isn't a lot to re-dive very much into in terms of what was going on with this episode, because a lot of stuff was behind the scenes of what happened on June 13th. Anyway, I'm Robinax1 here, and I shall see you all very soon for episode 4 of Heroes Reborn. Bye.